Time now for the exchange, when we connect you to Algeria's foreign minister. I spoke earlier with Rmtan La'mamra, who's in New York for the UN General Assembly. I began by asking him if diplomatic ties have improved between Morocco and Algeria since they were severed about a month ago.
Algeria has been extraordinarily patient in face of all the acts that the Kingdom of Morocco has perpetrated against the sovereignty of Algeria, against the unity, the national unity of Algeria, and many open and covert actions directed against the sovereignty of our country. That is why we believe that taking such a decision was sending the right message to the government of Morocco. That is, we cannot afford to accept anymore such a behavior on the part of a neighboring country. So this is a civilized way of putting an end to a situation that could not last anymore without running the risk to cost more casualties and to take the two countries into a path that would not be desirable.
How is this a civilized way of handling these tensions, Ambassador La'mamra, when these are decades-old problems, but when you decide to completely cut off any sort of diplomatic ties, how is that the civilized way of dealing with the conflict, sir?
I believe that is a civilized way, because we have been waiting for the government of Morocco to clarify a number of issues which were clearly an interference in our domestic affairs, which were attempt to dividing the Algerian people and to create a situation that would be destabilizing not only for Algeria but the entire region of North Africa. So the assurances and the clarification did not come forward from the leaders of Morocco, and therefore the Algerian government had to take a sovereign decision, and that is to take a decision which is a way to recall that there are obligations in the life of neighboring countries. There are a number of key principles of international law. There is neighborly relations that need also to be adhered to, and without such a situation, there is no reason for two countries to continue to entertain diplomatic relations and signaling that a situation is normal while it is obviously abnormal. And it had to come to an end anyway.
France, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, these are countries that have offered to mediate between the Kingdom of Morocco and Algeria. Are you open to these kind of talks?
This is not a situation that calls for mediation, quite honestly. It calls for Morocco to change its behavior. It calls for Morocco to understand once and for all that interfering in internal affairs of Algeria, threatening the national unity of Algeria, calling for military alliances from outside of the region is something that is likely to generate tension, persisting tension in the region. So there is no way for Algeria to entertain any mediation. It is a sovereign decision. It has to be understood as such by all countries.
You talked about destabilization. One threat you both face is that of terrorism in the Sahel. And both Morocco and Algeria are critical in the war on terror in the Sahel region. How can you deal with this threat collectively when you're not even talking, sir?
Algeria is a key player in the Sahel, and Algeria has done in the struggle against terrorism more than any other country in our part of the world. Algeria is moreover conducting the mediation between Mali and rebel movements, and it is also building some kind of a good neighborly relation in the Sahel, promoting national reconciliation in a number of countries in the region. So Algeria is really a key player and an actor that stands for helping all the neighboring countries to resolve their own problems peacefully.
You recently hosted a meeting with your neighbors to try and move forward towards a political settlement in Libya, and you called for foreign mercenaries to leave Libya. But there are people in your region who don't think that Algeria is an honest broker in this process in Libya, because you support some elements that are against the existing administration in Libya.
That's wrong. We don't support any element in Libya except the people of Libya themselves. I think if there is a country in the region which is at equal distance from all the fighting groups, it is precisely Algeria. So I believe that this has to be corrected, and I think Algeria is being accepted by all as a brother that strives to help each other, to help the country, to help all the forces in the region to sit together and to contemplate a better future for the country. And what we have done merely recently is a meeting of all the neighboring countries, and I believe that we succeeded to build a consensus of all the regional countries in favor of getting mercenaries, terrorists outside the country, but in a way that would not create trouble and destabilize the neighboring countries themselves. So we certainly stand by the side of the Libyan people, the side of the Libyan authorities and the government, and we do everything possible to make sure that elections will take place as planned for, and that all the Libyans will be happy to be part and parcel of the political process that would lead to democratization, normalization, and Libya resuming its fair place in the region as a key player.
Ambassador, you're also mediating in a major dispute over the River Nile between Sudan, Egypt, and Ethiopia, and that's over the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam on the Blue Nile, because Ethiopia insists it's got a right to fail the dam, and it did so, in fact, in July, the second filling of the dam, which made people in Cairo, people in Khartoum quite angry. Are you getting any closer to de-escalating this situation?
Look, there are a number of people who are trying to contribute their share in resolving this issue. We believe that the parties themselves have been working hard to promote some kind of settlement that will endure, that will contribute to building good neighborly relations between the three countries. And we believe also that the African Union, which was asked by the UN Security Council and also the parties themselves to lead the mediation, is doing its best. So Algeria is coming to bring its contributions to this effort. We believe that we enjoy the confidence of all the three parties, all the three sisterly parties, and that we can have a significant contribution in terms of confidence building, in terms of helping them to surmount a number of psychological aspects which can really be an impediment to any progress for now. So we are fairly optimistic. I think the parties are committed to resolving the problem. The African Union is helping, and the rest of the international community is certainly looking forward to the three countries surmounting the last obstacles.
Ambassador Rmtan La'mamra, we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much, Foreign Minister, for coming to talk to us on CNN.
Thank you. Thank you.